night, everyone. 10 p.m. here in Europe, Norway, and somewhere p.m. or a.m. where you are. It is time for our bi-weekly meditation class, self-regulation session, heart-focused, love your love muscle, as the podcast is called. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome Rima L. Welcome Estelle on Second Life. Welcome everybody that is joining in on our live streaming page and see my face live, etc. And everybody from Orion and Vero through social. Good to have you here on board as well. Theme for today, healing from trauma. For those that don't know me, I'm Seb. I'm the founder of the Transformational Meditation Group, a group for people that use meditation and self-regulation techniques to change their lives and the lives of others. And trauma is a part of what we try to help people with, dealing with trauma, healing from trauma. So I want to talk a little bit about that today. And of course, towards the end, we will start a self-regulation technique, a session, a short session that can help you, if you have trauma or not, just release stress. Releasing stress is a part of helping with trauma if that is a symptom of the trauma. Because as we will tell you, trauma is very individually. So let's pull up my notes because I don't want to make any mistakes here. It's a touchy subject. So let us talk about the symptoms first, all right? So the trauma symptoms, they are triggered by exposure to a traumatic event, of course, and it can be anything that makes a person feel extreme fear, horror, helplessness, and what can cause those emotions. So accidents, violence, abuse, those are typical situations where people will react with a trauma, with trauma symptoms, yeah. And the intensity and duration of the event, of course, also plays a role. So, and people cope with the stress from trauma differently as well. So, people with a history of trauma, like way in the past and have experienced trauma over a prolonged period of time, and have therefore deteriorated mental health conditions or lack of social support, maybe even around that whole situation, they may be more susceptible for lasting symptoms. So feeling that it becomes chronic, maybe that the stress, the fear, the anxiety sits in their body, in their nervous system, and it's hard to get rid of. And even in normal everyday situations, there are many triggers that may cause an anxiety, cause fear, cause a stress response. Prolonged exposure to trauma and stress also creates brain changes. So it can alter the brain's chemistry and the brain structure, most literally. And it then therefore impacts how you process emotions and memories as well. People that are anxious and the hormones of stress go through their body all the time, they process emotions differently and your memory gets affected too. And that we even see on the workplace. In a workplace where there's lots of stress, it doesn't have to be trauma, but you have a stress response. It affects people's memories. So let's some more examples maybe. How does these factors come together? So like I said, high stress hormones. So during a traumatic event, the body of course releases stress hormones like adrenaline. And in some cases, these hormones can remain in the body. And your nervous system can also get used to it and think, hey, this is normal. I always have adrenaline here. So it just stays with me. I just keep creating it because this is my normal situation now. So they can remain elevated, those levels of stress hormones, which then cause with a slight trigger already a new stress response or a new anxiety or a hyperarousal state. We can have flashbacks, intrusive memories. The brain may struggle to process the traumatic response, the traumatic experience, I have to say, and that leads to flashbacks. We're going back to it all the time. Yeah, it keeps playing in our head. We're not quite able to get rid of it. So then we're replaying the whole scenario inside ourselves over and over again. And like I often say during our sessions, when we create feelings and emotions inside of us, an experience inside of us, our body doesn't know the difference between an external experience and an internal experience, something we create ourselves. And actually the external experience causes an internal experience, and that's what the body reacts to. So not being able to process the whole traumatic event and getting back to it over and over again because of that, because you try to process it internally, but it doesn't really function. You need some help with that. You create those flashbacks, those memories get back, and often when you replay it over and over again, it gets worse and worse. And actually, I know some people that have been playing over and over again these events, and it turns out afterwards they say, you know what, I over-exaggerated so much when I replayed them. It was always worse than the actual event. And then we also have the opposite. Instead of replaying it, we try to hide it. We try to avoid it. And also people that feel that they get into a similar situations or they notice triggers coming up that might remind them of a traumatic experience, they try to avoid that. And that can interfere with daily life. That can cause even a vicious circle that like you're going from one experience to another bad experience and you try to avoid that again. So you're getting in circles, you're never getting out. Anyway, it's important to know that traumas affects everyone differently, okay? We all respond different to them. Some people have more resilience, other people don't. But if you're struggling with trauma, it's important to seek professional help, first and foremost. A therapist can always help, can help to understand your symptoms, develop healthy coping mechanisms for you. That's something I do in one-on-one sessions with clients, especially those that have undergone a lot of stress from a trauma. I try to help them with finding their self-regulation techniques, trying to alter their response to triggers and thus pointing their nose in a direction to a completely different way of experiencing life. So how do we heal from trauma? Well, that's easier said than done. It's a journey, all right? It takes time and it takes effort. And it also takes discipline. It is working with yourself and accepting the help and trying to get through the whole journey, the whole experience, processing everything in the right amount of time, in small doses maybe, depending on the person, but it takes time. It's not like you're going to a session with your therapist or with a health coach, a mental health coach, and okay, after one session, you're done. Often your health coach will give you, or your therapist will give you a whole program, yeah? Or just teaches you a technique and say, okay, do this technique every morning for a couple of months, come back and let me know how things go, follow-ups. It's a whole practice, a whole doing, changing things in your life maybe even. It's a journey, absolutely. So what are some of the things, some of the strategies that people can do? So here come the tools that I talked about earlier, the tools for healing from trauma. So the first and foremost, self-care. Yeah, don't be hard on yourself. Accept the situation as it is. Yeah, don't judge yourself. accept who you are, and care for yourself. Make sure that you don't overexpose yourself to certain triggers. Take it easy, take it slow, but notice the progress. Keep progressing, but take care of yourself, so don't overdo it. Yeah, it's crucial for building resilience and managing stress. One of the things is get enough sleep, eat healthy foods, exercise, keep moving, it helps a lot. Engage in activities you enjoy. If it's reading, spending time in nature, listening to music, that is all part of self-care. And then you have processing your emotions. Yeah, like I said, some people try to hide that experience, avoid them, keep them inside themselves, stored far away, and don't let them come to the surface. It helps talking to someone you trust, a family member, a therapist. Yeah? Talk to them about what you're going through. Talk about that you're struggling with something. Be open about it. Journaling is a thing you can do. It's basically talking to yourself, with yourself. And I always recommend journaling when doing self-regulation techniques. And I give people self-regulation techniques, journal, because the changes throughout time are so subtle that you often don't notice them yourself. Other people might do, but you don't notice them yourself. And by journaling, you can go back in time and see, hey, I'm making progress. Or you see, hey, this is not going well, I need to change something. Journaling is very, very important. And I think we've talked about it in a previous session as well. Consider professional help. I would say consider, just find professional help. A therapist can provide support and guidance. They can teach you coping mechanisms, like I already said, and also develop a healthy understanding of your feelings and emotions, of your situation. Yeah, because often you think the worst about yourself, but it's all also about self-forgiveness, getting to know yourself. How am I processing something that has happened? How can I get through that in a good way? And a therapist or a mental health coach is perfect suited to help you with that. All right. Relaxation techniques, something that we're going to do after a few minutes. Yoga, meditation, deep breathing, self-regulation, as I call these techniques, they help a lot. They are techniques to keep you going, to release some pressure, release some of the stress, and get back to a state of being that is positive and good for you, the situation you are in. Reconnect with supportive people. So if you have good friends, family that support you in everything you do, reconnect with them if you have lost contact with them. Don't feel afraid, don't feel ashamed. It's okay getting together and having some fun with people too. Yeah. And just for a moment, forget about the troubles and just engage with some people that are supportive about you and supportive about being a healthy environment, creating a healthy environment for you as well. And then finally, be patient. And that's what I see a lot of people struggling with. This takes time. A healing process takes time. Becoming whole, which is what healing means, becoming whole again, takes time. It takes, especially when it comes from the mental health part, it takes time. Yeah. What has been, especially if you have a stress, chronic stress as a symptom from trauma, over a lot of long periods, it gets programmed into you, and it's so difficult to change that around. Or it's not difficult, but it takes time and it takes discipline. Yeah. Therefore, if you have support with you that can keep you going as well, do that. That's also why we have sessions regularly online. I got feedback from people about the podcast as well, like, yeah, you're doing often the same thing, but actually it helps me. You're doing the same techniques and you do the same technique for several different situations, but it helps me. So when was it, a couple of months back, someone from Australia saying that, wow, your podcast, just by listening to it every other week, just helps me getting back in line and keeping me going and keeping me interested in working with myself. So podcasts like this can help. If you have some guided meditation, a meditation teacher that does guided meditations that go a little bit deeper, for example, do that. I sell some of those therapeutic meditations on my Patreon website, so check them out. They are therapeutic, so they are to solve an issue, support you with an issue you might have. Again, be patient with yourself and also celebrate your progress. Therefore, journaling and you see, oh, this is going the right direction. Make sure you give yourself a present, celebrate them, no matter how small the progress is. Okay? I would say enough talk. Let me see, Julia, welcome. What did you say? Treating the symptoms doesn't fix the root of the problem. Exactly, that's true. Therefore, also the processing. Yeah, it's not only the symptoms. The symptoms we have that might say, hey, why do you have these symptoms? Oh, maybe something that happened previously in your life that has been a trauma that is causing symptoms now or still. Yeah. So therefore, that's the processing we have to do. And the symptoms often are because we can't process the root cause. Therefore, find help. So true, Julia. Women, you said Alzheimer's. I'm not sure what you think about that. Oh, I think maybe when I said about memory, forgetting things, Alzheimer's being a symptom of trauma. I don't think so. It's more a chemical thing. I don't think so. Maybe it has some influence on it, but I don't think trauma is directly related to getting Alzheimer's. But it might speed the thing up. I think so. That could be it. Okay, let us do a little exercise, and this is just to release stress. Yeah? Trauma and stress caused it to my sister, says Rema. Okay, yeah, it can be like a trigger, maybe, but I don't think there's a one-to-one connection right there. It can most likely influence it in a negative way. Anyway, let's do a little exercise. Let's try to release some of those stress, no matter if it's from trauma or not. So you can do this anytime. It's a bit channeled, so maybe we go deeper than what I'm saying now, but let's see where we're going, okay? As always, sit up straight, take a nice deep inhale through your nose, and breathe out through your mouth. Lower your shoulders, loosen your jaw, let the day go. Beautiful, let the day go. Another nice deep inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. Feel yourself getting centered and settled. Good. Now, if you want to close your eyes, you can do that, but you can also just stare to a point on a wall or on your device, wherever you are listening or watching this. Breathe normally and then try to breathe a little slower and deeper. Just slowing down your breathing pace and make your breathing, your inhales and exhales deeper. Try a 5-second inhale, 5-second exhale. Whatever feels comfortable for you, but make it slower and deeper than usual. Just by doing this, already you're regulating your nervous system to tell your body that it is in a safe place. So if you have symptoms like an anxiety or you feel very quickly stressed, just noticing where in your body you feel your breath the most and try to breathe slower and deeper. Just by doing that, you're self-regulating already. It's so easy. You need a bit of time, a little bit of space to do that. And we also always do focusing on our heart space. And this can be difficult for people that have had a traumatic experience, especially when it has something to do with deep emotions as love and trust and compassion. But just try to move your attention, your focus into your heart space. And if it doesn't feel good, just get back to a point in your body where you feel your breath the most. But for those that have no trouble getting into the heart space, just focus on your heart space. You can help by getting more focus on your heart space by putting your hand on your chest, right there where your heart is. I've had people experiencing emotions already just by moving their focus into the heart space, calming down, resting there in their heart space. And if you feel emotions coming up, that's okay. Just let it out. Just rest in that beautiful heart space of yours. And can you try to imagine that you are breathing through your heart? So if you haven't gone through your heart space and you're still breathing through that point in your body where you feel your breath the most, just continue doing that. And for those that are in their heart space, try to imagine that you are breathing through your heart. Imagine the air going in and out of your chest area. Allow it to happen. When you get silent and you're in that heart space and you're breathing through your heart, feelings and emotions might come up, thoughts can come up. Maybe you are triggered to go along with those thoughts, to be grabbed by those thoughts and they're taking you away. That's okay, but if you notice that, without judgment, just get back to your heart space again. Keep breathing through your heart and try to become more of the observer of any thoughts and emotions that might come up. And take some time to practice this. Breathe through your heart, keep this as your anchor, and just allow whatever comes up to come up. Don't force anything. Don't engage with it. Allow yourself to have thoughts, allow yourself to have feelings. Okay. Now let's do a quick visualization. Can you imagine as you breathe in that you're breathing in light, white golden light through your nose, into your body, down to your heart, and let your heart spread that light throughout your body as you breathe in. As you breathe out any stagnating old energy that no longer serves you, and breathe it out as gray mist through your mouth out. Let's let it disappear in front of you. So let's do that for a few moments. Breathe in white golden light. Just visualize that down into your heart space. Let your heart spread that throughout your body. Breathe out any gray mist that might be in your body. Just visualize any old energy releasing. Worry, stagnating energy, things that are stuck, that no longer serve you. Release that as gray mist as you breathe out. Just continue doing that. In with white golden white golden light. Fill your body with new healing energy. Breathe out. Gray mist, old energy. Can be whatever. Stagnating energy, sabotaging thoughts, judgmental thoughts about yourself or others. Let it go. To breathe out and replenish any open space in your body right now with new white golden light. Breathe it in. Let your heart spread that out throughout your body. And breathe out. Gray mist, let it disappear in front of you. Let it drift away. Alright, just a few more. In with that nice healing white golden light. As you breathe in, bring a smile on your face. And breathe out. Let it go as a relief, a sigh. Any stagnating bad energy that you don't need anymore, not helping you, keeping you stuck, let it out. Okay. Breathe normally again. And know that you can do this exercise whenever you want. Don't have to do it for a longer period. It can be 10 minutes. Releasing everything that bothers you and just filling in that open space with energy, light, new ideas, whatever you need. Breathe that in with the intention that it replenishes you, heals you. Okay. Now let's get back to the present moment. Just keep that state of being, that warm, nice, calm state of being with you as you get back to the present moment by noticing the room you are in, noticing any sounds in the room. Take a nice inhale, just breathe normally. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, move your body back and forth as you get back. Wiggle your fingers and toes if you want to. Open your eyes. Welcome back, welcome back. So just a few in and out breaths, inhales, exhales. Inhaling white, cold and light. Exhaling everything that you don't need anymore. Just visualize that as gray mist. It's just the visualization just helps your nervous system releasing energy. Beautiful. Okay. Julia said, Alzheimer also could be caused by the lack of nutrients like cholesterol, good ones of course, which is the main element for the brain cells not to cause dementia. Nobody talks about that, of course. Yeah, it's true. Nutrition has a lot to do with Alzheimer's. That's one thing. But I think Rimail says it too. Like if you have a traumatic experience, if you have already maybe memory problems because of that, it does add to it, right? So it's absolutely it's a combination of things. Like I said, I don't think there's a direct relation between Alzheimer's and trauma and stress, but it might just trigger. It might just add to its developing. So, but everything is energy, right? Even the nutritions we take in, if the lack of nutrition is basically a lack of energy that you don't get into your body, and then your cells don't get enough energy to function properly. So it's all part of the same, it's all linked together. It's quite complicated. And in the modern Western medicine, like we are used to in the West, it's all mechanical, we think. But there's also a lot of mental health, energy related stuff that has an impact on it, because we are energy. We are all made of energy. And we know that since the 1920s, when the quantum mechanics got discovered and developed, and the whole theory is there, and we saw all of a sudden with experiments in the scientific experiments that our thoughts, our state of being, had an effect on the outcome of those experiments. So that's already a perfect example that energy, thoughts, emotions, energy, emotions influence the physical world, or what we experience as physical. And that's what we work a lot with the Transformational Meditation Group, making people understand that the physical world isn't that physical at all. It's how we experience the information around us as physical, non-physical, but it's all built up of energy, all information. We can work with that. And the easiest is to work with your own body, because we have such a good connection with our own body. So therefore we can do a lot by techniques like this, self-regulation. Beautiful. Wonderful. Great that you came to visit me in Second Life. And thank you for participating. I liked it a lot. Those on Odyssey, you have a chat there, so feel free to put something in the chat as well. You don't have to sit still and do nothing. And that's also why I'm still on Second Life. It's very old, Second Life. It's the metaverse that has been around for, well over 20 years, I guess. But people are so engaging there. They're always coming to visit my sessions, so it's beautiful. Great group of people there. All right, enough talk. Let everything sink in. And I'll be back in 2 weeks again, I guess, with another session. Feel free to give any feedback. Feel free to come with new ideas, questions for new themes. And we also do intention sessions for people or situations. So if you want to nominate someone for an intention session, feel free to contact me. If you don't know what the intention sessions are, ask away and send a question to me about it. I can explain to you offline what it is about. Take good care, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your day and week. Be safe. Namaste.